we're finally to that point where I think we're getting to that actual technological point where we're going to start seeing what we always envisioned to be the future is happening.
Right, definitely.
But that was a big thing. LG, I think it was LG. Was it LG or Samsung announced the paper thin television?
I saw them do a video of that where not only were they
Yeah,
not the paper thin, but they were rolling it. Like
yeah.
they were rolling
It's
it like a newspaper right there, and that's pretty cool. It looks really expensive, but it looks really cool.
yeah. It's a 1 millimeter thick OLED TV. Um, and it is just it looks amazing. It
Yeah,
really looks amazing. I
yeah,
mean, this is you're looking at something that with the proper setup, you don't have to worry about TV wall mounts or anything. You can literally just insert this thing into your, you can have it framed and put up like a picture frame on your wall.
right.
And it's going to be huge. But it's looking like CNET's reporting that it's going to be the 65-inch 4K OLED TV is going to cost about 9 grand.
We have a
Oh,
little
I'm
while
sorry.
before I'm
That's
picking it up.
without the paper thin novelty.
Well,
So you're probably going to see it. We're probably going to see a paper thin television. I'm going to guess is probably going to start in around the 15K range. That's what we saw when we saw the big when the 4Ks first hit. That's what we saw. I think once the technology becomes a little bit easier to produce, you'll see a price drop. Probably in 2-3 years, we'll see that'll be the new thing. Every home won't have a big screen wall mount. Everybody's going to have a paper thin display, you know, just built into their walls type deal.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
So,
Okay, so one of the things I was looking forward to, I think I mentioned it on the last podcast. I'm not sure, but I bought a new 4K TV,
yeah,
and I love it. It's the Vizio M series, which is their first what I would call affordable performance series. It got 2015's Best TV of the Year, and it's not. I mean, it's expensive for TVs. I mean, you're looking at $1,500 for a television, but it's 65 inches of 4K TV. And at the time, you could not buy a 4K TV for that price. It was something else ridiculous. So what I'm excited about now is that they announced at CES 4K Blu-ray players, and that Samsung's making the first one at $399. I don't know why they just don't say 400, but it's like $399.99. Must be a mental thing.
it is. It's the 399.99 is a psychological aspect.
Yeah,
People think that they're actually getting something for cheaper,
yeah. It's like they're
but
raping
it's
us and we
really
don't
just
even know it.
yeah, it's just a penny.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. What I'm not excited about is the cost. They announced the cost of the 4K Blu-rays are each going to be about $40. That seems awfully steep, but I think you said it. You know, new technology costs money, but oh man, dude.
Yeah, early adoption of anything. I mean, you look at prime example I can think of off the top of my head, the iPhone.
Yeah.
The iPhone was released, and people, it was what, $600-700 for an iPhone?
I want to say it was like $500-600. Yeah, for
Yeah,
the
and
base
then
model
for
when
the
it
for the
first came
base
out.
model when the first one came out, and then 3 months later they dropped the price down to like 200, 299.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the thing. Like they'll when early adopters always end up paying kind of the brunt because they need to see that there's a market for it.
Right.
So they'll charge that, and once they realize that there's a good established market for that product, then you'll see the price drop.
Well, I think what you'll see, I think 2 years from now, everyone will have at least one 4K TV in their house,
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
4 years from now, every TV will be a 4K TV in the house, and
They could just do like they did with just make all the broadcast studios and television networks broadcast in 4K and make it the new standard, so that like they did where they moved everything to HD signals and nobody broadcasts in non HD anymore.
right.
So that really drove the sales of HD TVs because people were like, well, I want to be able to see TV. So
Yeah, I do think they do have a content issue right now. All you have is Netflix. Um, what else? Amazon has some 4K stuff. I think a huge mistake. Apple did not put 4K in their new Apple TVs that just came out this year. They had a revamp of new hardware and everything, and they left 4K out. And
Yeah.
and it won't be allowed to. Some people were trying to say that they could do a software update for that, but the HDMI port on the back is not a 4K HDMI available port. So there's no software that's going to fix that. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think that's the same thing. I think you're going to get a lot of established companies that aren't going to jump on the 4K train until it's a proven market.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants another HD DVD. You know,
oh, absolutely.
Microsoft
Remember
screwed
that?
themselves with that. Well, Microsoft screwed that. I think HD DVD would have eventually could have had the possibility, but the simple fact that they refused to put it in their
Right.
thing in the Xbox 360 and tried to make it a separate additional thing that you had to pay extra money for. I think they screwed themselves on that. I think they screwed that whole market, and I think it was a bungle.
Yeah.
I think Blu-rays were driven by Sony's. You know, people
Yeah.
got PS threes, and the Blu-ray player was built into it. So you know,
I actually think I bought my first PlayStation 3 because it had a Blu-ray.
yeah,
And I didn't want to buy an extra Blu-ray player, and I wanted a new console. So
there you go. That's what I'm saying.
anything else out of CES that you saw out there that was worth talking about?
Oh goodness, there's so many things out of CES. VR headsets.
We can either talk about that now or we can talk about it later. But yeah, definitely VR is out there all the time now too.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, something new about VR.
Smartwatches were a big deal at CES. Just really, I think the big thing with CES was kind of this whole idea of connection between everything.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where right now you're literally going to be able to start your car, unlock your house, turn your lights on, start your TV, turn on your stove,
Yeah.
and you can do all this stuff from your phone.
Well, I think they have some of this stuff now, and here's the problem with it. And I'll just run you through my house. And my wife calls my house this fucking starship, okay, because I have too much crap around. But I have the Ring doorbell, okay, so I have a camera on my front door. I have an alarm system that has its own alarm app. What else do we have? We have a baby monitor that has no app. It has a separate remote. We have other things in the house. We have lights that run through a different. They run through the alarm, but it's through a different app. So I have a lot of it. I have the Nest thermometer. So I just named off 4 different things. The problem is every one of those has a different app for me to control everything. I got to log into this app to do this app to do that, And I think what we're seeing, and I think you nailed it, was we're starting to see it where we can start to do these things off of one app, or just by time, awareness, and motion on our phones. Like, okay, Jason just woke up. I need to start the coffee pot, which they now have a Wi-Fi coffee pot that will start on command, so that you don't have to like walk downstairs and God help us if we actually had to push the button to start some coffee.
I don't have time for that.
Right. If you don't have that, you need to get your fucking life in order. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Get your shit straight.
So I think what the future is in the next year or two is that all that's going to be off of one app. Now, what one app is going to be the winner? I don't know, man, because Apple's going to want to do its own thing.
I think
Google's going to do its own thing. Microsoft's going to do it. And what we need is to just say, screw all that. We need one app. And I don't care how many different platforms it's on. We need one app to really just do it all.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see that. I think you're probably going to see a lot of you'll still have, like, if you have a Samsung product, you'll have the Samsung app.
Oh, no. They are mixing some together. No, some of these people are partnering up. So, like, you can get home kits. And I don't know the names off the top because they're not that widely out there. But they are making home kits that come with lights, locks, appliances that go to one. But you have to like that brand, whatever that brand is. So if you like Samsung, you're going to have to use their one. You're going to have to buy a Samsung coffee pot, a Samsung dishwasher, a Samsung this, a Samsung that.
Like we have an infrastructure built into our house that we can upgrade, and if we want to upgrade it up to like the full package, I can have it to where I can control my lights. I can have speakers in every room. I can control my TV. I can anything that has a switch, like my fireplace, my gas fireplace.
Yeah.
I can have that hooked up to it. and it'll all run to one control center. And then they have an app that runs that control center, and I can go into my one app and I can say, all right, here's my iPad. I'm going to turn on my gas. I'm going to turn the lights down in this room. I'm going to turn the lights off in this area.
Sure.
And I'm going to be able to do that. And I think with those kind of home controller systems, once you start being able to, I think we're just adding to the number of products that we're going to be able to do that with.
Right.
I think we're going to see, the Samsung has Wi-Fi refrigerators and stoves. That was one of the things at CES. You're going to be able to, with the Samsung refrigerator has a 21-inch screen and it has interior cameras. So you're actually going to be able to go onto your Samsung app on your phone and say, hey, do I have milk in my refrigerator? Let me see. And you can access your refrigerator and look into your refrigerator from anywhere. Right. And go, hey, I need to buy milk and I need eggs and I don't have butter. So, and you can automatically do that. And I think you're going to see that. You're going to see, hey, I've got to start dinner as soon as I get home. So let me get the oven preheated to 400 degrees, go into my phone and do that. And I think you get it. Those kind of things will be integrated into these home house controllers. And it'll just be a matter of what company you decide to go with for the integration. But you'll see, like you said, start up your coffee when your alarm goes off. Turn on your shower. Set it to this temperature. Start heating the floors in the bathroom so that they end up being a certain temperature when you get there. I mean, if you have the money, the technology exists. So, I mean, we're going to get to the point where we're going to have fully automated homes. It's just going to be a matter of, and everything will be custom programmable to your lifestyle.
Right.
So you can have everything's going to be exactly at your fingertips, and you're not going to have to be bothered with doing all those things like
starting your coffee,
pushing buttons.
First world problems.
Yeah, definitely.
So anything else out of CS before we close that up?
I don't know. We went. I mean, there was the smartwatches. There was so much at CES.
It's always
that's
like
all
that,
I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. Well, let's look into. Now we said there's a ton of stuff to talk about. Movies. 2016, huge movie year. Like, I felt like 2015 was a year of the video game. We had so many awesome video games came out in 2015. I think this is the year of the movies, man. We've got every comic book you can think of, every angle. As far as the geek world and video game movies and comic book movies and just nerd movies in general, if you can't find something you don't like in 2016, you need to get your fucking life over. Because 2016 is just loaded with a ton of movies. So how we're going to do it is we've developed our sort of list here. We're going to talk about them briefly. We're not going to get too much depth because we'd be here all night. But a lot of these are going to become episodes that we talk about in the future. And I'll give you an example. The first one that I have up here is Batman Superman, followed by Suicide Squad, and we will definitely have an episode specifically on the Batman Superman. There's no doubt in my mind. That's just huge. But Rob, first one, Batman Superman comes first, right? No, it comes March time, right? March?
Yeah, I think the first movie we're really looking at that's going to be I think what I'm viewing is the one of the most anticipated is Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool is February, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's coming out February. It comes out February 12th. Obviously, I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you know who Deadpool is.
Yeah.
You know that he's grown to be a well-loved character amongst the internet folk.
Yeah.
And they're doing it. I think they're doing it right. I think it's going to have an R rating. They've got. I think Ryan Reynolds is going to be able to kind of redeem himself for the horrible Green Lantern film.
Well, not only horrible Green Lantern film, but the character Deadpool and Wolverine, other than the fight scene. I mean,
yeah,
he just pissed me off, but that wasn't his
fault.
He
was a wisecracker in that, but they played him down so much.
They played him down, and the story itself was terrible. I thought.
Yeah, it was. I really didn't like it that much, but
So basically,
So, yeah.
the overview for Deadpool is